This episode is brought to you by La Quinta by Wyndham. Your work can take you all over the place, like Texas. You've never been, but it's going to be great because you're staying at La Quinta by Wyndham. Their free Bright Side breakfast will give you energy for the day ahead. And after, you can unwind using their free high-speed Wi-Fi. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine. Book your stay today at LQ.com.
Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome to today's show. Welcome, guys. I want to start off the show by allowing the listeners that we've had some technical difficulties on yesterday's episodes with Grace Hung and with Jimmy. We were supposed to have two shows, both on Twitch, on YouTube, and our Facebook channel. And we were supposed to have some regular Spotify episodes along with that. For those who did not or do not know, Georgia has been battling some severe weather these past few days. So it kind of disturbed our Wi-Fi signals for the streaming, the live streaming on Twitch, as well as our regular episodes on Spotify. So we do apologize for that. The weather is still kind of crappy here, but there is a break from the bad weather. So we're trying to get an episode in. I did scrap the Twitch shows for today, possibly resuming them back this Friday. So today will only be a regular Spotify audio podcast. So, I'm sorry for any inconveniences that this may cause the listener. I know a lot of you enjoy the Twitch shows. I do. You know, it's a little different from our Spotify episodes. But we do apologize, and we hope to resume by this Friday. With that being said, guys, let's get the show started. All right? Let's get the blood flowing. And let's get this show on the map. Guys, I want to get into the gas scenario. You know, everybody talking about the gas. It's kind of like the new talk of the week. Where's it going? How much more is it going to go up? It's affecting a lot of different industries, such as the trucking industry. The ride-sharing industry is taking a big toll on it. And the individual itself, their wallets. I mean, it's affecting all of us. All walks of life here in America. When is the prices going to stop? Shit. Hopefully soon. Hopefully this president puts some common sense in his delusional mindset and thinks about possibly opening the Keystone Pipeline. Because it's been shut down now ever since this president taken office, right? We've seen the Key Line pipeline not open, closed, right? So hopefully these prices go down soon, because a lot of us can't afford $5, $6, $7 a fucking gallon in some areas. I mean, we're seeing it in the tri-state area, the New York, New Jersey, all over the country. Seeing a lot of historic highs in the prices. And it's terrible, guys. It's really bad at what's going on, you know. So I want to talk about that. I want to get into the Elon Musk story with Tesla boycotting its products in Russia. Oh, yeah. Wait till you hear that one. After I heard that story, I was like, what? It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, guys, I want to plug this soundbite in here for you of the press questioning the press secretary, Jen Psaki, on the gas price issues. Check this out, guys.
Recently, but weren't gas prices going up anyway because of post-pandemic supply chain issues?
Well, I think there's no question that, as we have seen, and outside analysts have conveyed this as well, the increase and the anticipated continued increase, which is, I think, what some of your colleagues were asking about, that is a direct result of the invasion of Ukraine, and also there was an anticipation of that was factored in as gas prices have gone up.
So, you say that.
Yeah, Pat, can I buy an A and solve this puzzle, please? Like, what the fuck, man? I mean, I think that was an exact result of what your colleague had said and blah. Jen, the press is asking you, why are prices going up? They don't need to go up. You know, if we had the Keystone Pipeline open, you wouldn't pay $6, $7 a fucking gallon. You'd be back to Donald Trump era of $2 a gallon. Oh my God. I don't know, folks. I look at this and I'm like, you know, I don't know. Failure of leadership. You know, that's the cause of all this. You know, the cause of it all. Failed leadership. Failed leadership at its core. I mean, even Fox News Hannity even had something to say on this. Check this out, guys. Hannity.
Have you ever been to...
Literally. Hannity was like, you know, it's failed leadership. Failed leadership. Check this out, guys.
Again, we begin tonight with a Fox News alert. You, the American people, you are now paying more for a gallon of gasoline than ever before in the history of this country, and it looks like it's only going to get worse. Now, Joe Biden's bold strategy to, let's see, beg foreign dictators and murderers and thugs to pump more oil, that's not working out particularly well. In fact, according to an explosive report in the Wall Street Journal, the leaders of Saudi Arabia and the UAE, they won't even take his phone calls. That doesn't get any more humiliating than that. Now, they are furious that Joe has become buddy-buddy with the mullahs in Iran once again. They are the #1 state sponsor of terrorism in the world. Why he's negotiating with freeing up sanctioned money, tens of billions of dollars, why he's talking about importing oil from Iran is beyond any comprehension I have. And according to Joe, rising gas prices, well, that's not his problem. There's nothing he can really do about it. Take a look.
Gonna go up. Can't do much right now. Russia's responsible.
It's all Russia's fault.
Yeah. That was on Hannity just yesterday. That Biden falsely claims he's not holding back U.S. energy production. It's all Russia's fault, right? And then Biden himself even said, you know, if you can hear that in the audio, that, yeah, the prices are going to go up. Yeah, we know that, Joe. They're going up because of your failed negotiation as a fucking president. Oh, my God. Does people not understand the national risk that this president brings to our country as a leader? He's literally bankrupting the shit out of us, putting us down more in debt than any other sitting president before him. Why doesn't people understand this? Imagine getting these type of crazy people out of office. What a world, right? What a world we would live in. Peaceful, calm, collective, right? We can breathe a little bit better, right? Right? And speaking of breathing, folks, you notice how the mask issue just literally dropped now, and we're on Russia and the gas issue, right? That's the next pandemic that's facing this country. It seems to be like pandemic after pandemic with this president, right? But, people have to understand this now, folks. Biden's ability to mess things up cannot be an understatement, right? I mean, people should know that. He's been messing shit up for the last 40 plus years. And then to go into this statement as a president, telling Americans struggling at the pump to go electric would be telling illegal immigrants, folks, to buy a boat when swimming across the border, right? I mean, come on. Nobody imagined electric cars more than Elon Musk. And he says we need to produce oil immediately. And I'm going to get into the whole Elon Musk story a little bit later into the podcast today, because the story with Elon Musk, Tesla, and Russia, I heard that story. I was like, whoa, what? That makes a lot of sense. But folks, the gas issue today is literally destroying us. Destroying us. You remember before Biden, before the gas crisis, before all the shit that we have under Biden, right? Do you remember? Incredible how a businessman like Donald Trump, with no political experience, had this country in great shape, and how quickly a career politician like Joe Biden had destroyed it. You remember that, folks? Remember it? I remember it like it was yesterday. Literally like it was yesterday. Check more of this crazy man that's in office now making a ridiculous claim that his policies are not holding back domestic energy production. Check this out, guys.
Points. First, it's simply not true that my administration or policies are holding back domestic energy production. That's simply not true. Second, this crisis is a stark reminder: to protect our economy over the long term, we need to become energy independent.
All right, shut it off. Shut it off. I'm tired of hearing about the lies, Joe. I'm tired of hearing about the lies. That's all we see is lies out of this president. Lies, lies, lies. With that being said, guys, we'll be right back after these words. Don't touch the dial. Patriot. Unfiltered. Raw.
Here's what $5 a month with Lemonade covers. Protect a lot for not a lot. Get Lemonade renter's insurance from just $5 a month at lemonade.com.
Imagine all the heavy-duty vehicles that keep our supply lines strong and allow our economy to grow. Imagine that they produced zero emissions.
Imagine hearing the little birdies outside, right? I got the sound effect here on the side here. I plugged in the little birdies. I don't know if you can hear them into the show. Imagine Kamala Harris says, where we have zero emission cars. So let me imagine something right now. Is that why we're paying a lot of money for gas? Is this the next pandemic? Is this the next sick agenda by this radical left? To hike the freaking gas prices so they can get every freaking American to go on the bandwagon of getting electric cars? Is this their sick joke? Come on. You've seen how quickly the mask and the COVID is literally dying out, right? No one's really talking about it. No one's staying 6 feet away from one another. No one's social distancing from one another. Everybody understands that it was one big sick joke by this radical left. Now, the big joke is the gas prices, right? Now that's the next talk of the town. Imagine. What kind of nonsense is this? So let's fast forward a little bit, folks. Let's fast forward here. You know, we remember, flashback, right? Let's do a little flashback on the show. When Trump was in office and he warned of rising gas prices under Biden. Does everybody remember that? Donald Trump warned us that if Joe Biden gets elected as president in 2020, you will see historic highs in gas pricing, because that will be the agenda that they're going to try to push for electric cars. Do you remember that? Remember that, folks. I remember it like it was yesterday. Check this out.
We have so much oil. We have more oil than anybody, okay? And it's an incredible thing that it's happened over the last few years, a lot of great things, and you're paying, what, $2 a gallon for your gasoline? That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut. That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Didn't they say, get rid of your car? We're going to build some more windmills.
Yeah, remember that, folks? That clip I plugged into the show was back at his rally, right, in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The date of that was November 2nd, 2020. Literally. Right around the general election, right? Right around it. Where Donald Trump warned us that you will see rising gas prices. Well, I guess the libs and the people that didn't vote for Trump didn't really take his word for what he was saying. Are you taking Donald Trump's word now? Do you understand what he was saying 2 years ago? I hope so. Because guess what, folks? You're paying a lot of money for gas right now. Under Donald Trump, we were paying oil companies $40 a barrel. Do you know what we're paying now? Almost $300 a barrel. There's the difference. Under Donald Trump, we had the Keystone Pipeline reopened, paying $2 a gas. $2 a gallon for gas. $40 a barrel. In some areas, as low as $20 a barrel. Do you understand the mathematics here, folks? Do you understand where this president, Biden, is taking us? Do you have any idea? Do you even care to understand? Can this country survive another 2 years of this president? Folks, the only way we're continuing to survive right now is because this country is on life support. And it's been on life support since Joe Biden has sworn in as president of the United States a year and a half ago. We've been on life support ever since this president has taken office. And it's gotten worse day after day, month by month. It's gotten worse. We've seen prices of gas shoot through the roof. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. Now, pointing to the gas crisis that we have in America today, under this failed leadership of Joe Biden, you know, the the people in Russia, all over that sector there, were literally laughing at America. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? This clip I'm about to plug into the show now, this is from United Nations, September 25th, 2018. Trump's Russia warning garners jeers from Germany. Remember this, guys? Take a look.
On a single foreign supplier can leave a nation vulnerable to extortion and intimidation. That is why we congratulate European states such as Poland for leading the construction of a Baltic pipeline so that nations are not dependent on Russia to meet their energy needs. Germany will become totally dependent on Russian energy if it does not immediately change course.
Remember that, folks? Remember that? The pipeline. The importance of the role of the pipeline, what it means for this country. Folks, we were energy independent under this president. Under Trump, we were energy independent. Do you understand? Do you understand what that means? That means that we did not rely on any other country for our oil, our fossil fuels, everything. We depended on ourselves as an independent country, relying on ourselves instead of countries like Russia, China, and others that's been ripping us off for the last 40 plus years. They're back at it again. They're laughing at us once again. They're ripping us off once again with oil. Folks, we're paying as a country $300 a barrel. Our gas being shipped into this, or excuse me, our fuel, right? Our fuel, right? You get the fuel to create the gasoline, the diesel, right? Our fuel, our oil being shipped into this country, $300, up to $300 a barrel. We're getting it from countries like Russia, China, other countries, Ukraine. Not Ukraine, excuse me. Where's my head at? Afghanistan, Iraq. Those are the countries that are shipping in this oil, this fuel for us. That's why your prices at the pump are $4 to $6, $7 in most places. That's why, folks. Because if we had the damn pipeline opened, you would not be paying those prices. Do you get it now? Is it marinating up there? Try telling that to the president. Listen to more.
Here in the Western Hemisphere, we are committed to maintaining our independence from the encroachment of expansionist foreign powers.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
We will not give up and we will not lose. We will fight till the end at sea, in the air. We will continue fighting for our land, whatever the cost. We will fight in the forests, in the fields, on the shores, in the streets.
All right, guys, that was a sound clip I plugged in from. Did you kind of recognize the first voice? I'll plug a little bit left into it, but that was Churchill back in London in 1940. Right? Winston Churchill, in his Fury speech. And then right after that, shortly after that clip, I plugged in Ukraine's Zelensky, literally echoing Churchill in the very same speech. Check more of it out, guys.
Blood.
Yeah. I had to end it there because it kind of audio cut out there. But yeah, that's what we're seeing, folks, all over this country, right? You know, we're seeing a leader such as Zelensky of Ukraine showing more of a leadership for his people, defending his people in crisis from Russia's Putin. Heroism under Zelensky with the whole Russia thing. I don't want to touch more of the whole Russia thing, you know, because I have certain views on the Russia-Ukraine thing. My hearts go out to both not only Ukrainian people, but Russian people that are not for war. Because, folks, you need to understand this. There are some Russian people that are living in Russia right now that are not for this type of conflict. So they're in like the crosshairs of it all. You know? They're not for this. They want peace. They want love. They want this. They want that. But don't get me wrong. There are some maniacs that, you know, that just want global domination. I mean, we've seen that going back to the reigns of Adolf Hitler. The same type of scenario. The scenarios, folks, are being played out one by one. We're going back into time. We're repeating our history. And I always say, if you don't know your history, you're condemned to repeat it. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing, folks. We're seeing the conflict getting played out in Russia and Ukraine. Possibly a World War III. God, I hope not. I hope not. We don't need more bloodshed in this world. We don't need more conflicts, whether they're domestic or foreign. We don't need any of that crap. We all need to be united as one people, one human race of this planet. And we also need to mind our businesses too when there are conflicts that may arise. Yes, we should defend and help our allies in need. But I always say, use common sense behind that logic. Well, you ain't getting common sense behind this president, I can tell you right now. And God willing, I hope we can survive another 2.5, 3 years under this president. Because literally, this country is on life support. Life support. Guys, I want to close out the show after this quick break with the whole Elon Musk, Tesla, Russia story. Oh boy, wait till you hear this. Be right back after these words, guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, folks, we're back here on the show. I'm going to close it out with this Elon Musk story. A lot of people are kind of questioning and baffled here about the whole, Tesla man himself. People are like, like it started off with, or at least I thought the same thing. Like, are they trying to boycott the Teslas in Russia? Right? And then I've seen a posting or a tweet or something on social media. I think it was a tweet. Well, it wasn't a tweet. Producer Eric, tweet, right? Yeah, some kind of tweet or something about the president saying that Teslas belong in America, not Russia. Now, where is this going, and what does this have to do with the Tesla man himself, Elon Musk? Well, we know Elon Musk, guys, is not only a billionaire, he's a freaking genius, if you ask me. some say the next modern day Albert Einstein in his own credit, right? But here's something that kind of baffled me, folks, with the whole Elon Musk and the Russia thing. Important here that, what this topic and what this story is and why I'm having it on my show and why I decided to close this out on my show with this topic is because Elon Musk literally put out a tweet just earlier in this month, March 3rd to be exact, on Twitter. And Elon Musk literally tweeted this out. Important warning. Starlink is the only non-Russian communication system still working in some parts of Ukraine. So probability of being targeted is high. Please use with caution. Well, what does he mean by this? Is Elon Musk, right? Is Elon Musk warning Russians or warns Russians that could strike this over Ukraine? Could it? Well, we don't know. High possibility, right? We don't know. Let's check this out, guys, with Fox Business literally getting into this story. Fox Business questioning the whole theory of just what if, guys. Check this out.
First targets Russia took out on Ukraine was a TV and communication tower, knocking out wireless internet and television signals. That is when Elon Musk stepped in. The SpaceX CEO sent dozens of portable antennas to Ukraine with the good intention of helping them connect to the internet via his Starlink satellites. But Musk is now warning via Twitter that Ukrainians using the Starlink technology, which is the only non-Russian internet tech enabling Ukraine to connect to the outside world right now, may become targets of Russian airstrikes. Musk is tweeting, and with everyone aiding Ukraine at risk of becoming a Russian target, could an attack on our satellites, as he puts this warning up, could an attack on our satellites, aka how we communicate with the world, on the horizon? Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive, former FCC chairman and American Enterprise Institute non-resident fellow, Ajit Pai. Ajit, I mean, where do we begin? If Elon is right, and the Russians try to knock down the antenna on the ground, but maybe the satellites in the sky, what does that mean and what does it equal?
Well, I think it's an unfortunate and even terrifying proposition to the extent that they're even contemplating such a move. Certainly, I think one of the key priorities the Russian government has established is that they want to control information by any means possible, knocking out the broadcast tower, potentially interfering with internet access here on the ground, as well as potentially interfering with some of the satellites up in space. They want to control the information environment, which is difficult in the internet age, but nonetheless, they've clearly shown that they're willing to do a lot in order to achieve that. So I think everybody has to be on their guard.
Did we ever get close to having Russia knock out our communication satellites, and would that be a declaration of war?
Well, certainly not during my time in office at the FCC. We didn't see that. Certainly in a military environment, of course, there are different considerations that might apply, and I would have to defer to some of the experts on whether or not that would constitute an act of war. I know that you had a NATO person on recently who said that could trigger Article 5 obligations for member states. But I think that's one of the things that we found is the communications sector now is of great relevance to those who are involved in military operations. And I think it's just opened up an entirely new dimension, unfortunately, for policymakers and others in the communications space.
Well, communication is getting blacked out in Russia. In just, 1 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time, they banned Facebook. They just in the last couple of minutes banned Twitter. And you start to see how the Russians are getting pretty infuriated. There have been mass protests. Yeah. Has anybody been paying attention to that? I'm going to stop it right there. You also heard the American Institute fellow resident Pazat Jajab, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, labeling his insights on it. Could this start a somewhat of a war? Right? A space war, right?
kind of why Donald Trump created Space Force. A lot of our communications, folks, AKA our satellites, right? The way we use our cell phones, technology, is relied on those things that we call satellites in outer space, right? Are the Russians trying to deactivate them, destroy them, destroy our lack of communications? Holy shit, that would be some big stuff happening. God forbid, that does happen, but it could be a high possibility, and we just seen, Elon Musk's warning. The SpaceX CEO warning, right? Ukraine. Starlink could be a target. Now, does this link to anything such as the gasoline crisis, to that, to this, to this? It could be, folks. It could be all linked to that. One of the reasons why we're talking about this now, and you see, the mainstream media, not talking about the ridiculousness of COVID. I'm so glad that they're talking about importance now of what should be talked about. This is what should be talked about. Not COVID, not masking, not all that ridiculousness. Stop the distraction. Talk about this. This is the real crisis, folks. This is what we need to talk about. Want to close it out here with some comments here of mine. That history repeats itself, folks. Going back to Winston Churchill, remember those words. The government had to choose between war and shame. They chose shame. They will get war too. And Winston Churchill famously quoted that back in 1940 in London. We all remember those famous words by the late, great Winston Churchill. But, folks, I never thought I would say this, but, as a tech man, I love Elon. Thank you for being for the USA. Thank you for sticking by and coming in. I got to give it to Elon. He is a stand-up person for our country. We need more like him. The power this man has is truly unbelievable. Not only because he's a man of fortune, but he's a man of brilliance and intelligence. Thank you, kind sir. Thank you, Elon Musk, for stepping in and seeing a problem before it becomes the target. And lastly, folks, who else sees Musk running for office in the next decade? I can definitely see a political run for Elon Musk. I am sure he wants to do what he can as a private citizen while his children are young and keep them from the political life. I'm sure that, folks. I really am. I'm sure. But you got to look at this, folks. He's a godfather of taking risk since the beginning of his life. He's a living hero. He really is. He truly is. The only thing that's scary about all this is the government exercising monopoly on public discourse is the scary part. We should take note of this at home. Don't you think? We should. It's one man out of all this, folks. One man out of all this. Whether it has the links of the gasoline, the fuel crisis, the satellite issue that's now facing our country and others with this whole Russia thing, and as we're seeing it unfold literally day by day and we're understanding it more, one man doing more than governments alone is Elon Musk. His own government officials call him names and disrespect him when going back to space, which we should. We should explore our horizons with space and our new branch of the government, Space Force. We should, without a doubt. With that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. I wanted to get this podcast very, very unique because, as you know, yesterday we were having some Wi-Fi signal issues due to the storms that had came through the Atlanta metro area. Really, really bad, severe thunderstorms that kind of knocked out the Wi-Fi signal, and we weren't really getting in some good shows for both our Twitch show and our audio shows on Spotify, Google, and Apple. So I do thank my listeners and my followers for your great patience in that. Tune us in tomorrow, as we will have a show tomorrow night, Thursday evening. Going to try to go on the Twitch network. We're going to see. Hopefully there's no more thunderstorms that come in through the area. Not promising anything, but as you will see on my social media platforms, if the weather cooperates, I will put a live posting out stating if we're going to be on the Twitch network tomorrow or not. We're also going to have a show posted to our Spotify, Google, and Apple audio platforms as well tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully everything goes to accord and everything kind of cooperates, right? With that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. And remember, guys, you can listen to any episode, past or present, on my website, patriotanglepodcast.com, or check us out on our audio podcast platforms, Spotify, Google, or Apple. Search the Patriot Angle Podcast, will pop right up. Or please follow me on our brand new Twitch channel on the Twitch network at US Patriot Unfiltered. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you hopefully tomorrow evening. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an Anchor platform.